the Temporal Thief. For a decade, Vincent had been exploiting the most ingenious scheme he could ever devise, using his time machine to steal from his future self. He would simply jump forward in time, rob his future self of valuables and resources, then return to the present to live comfortably. It was a foolproof plan, or so he believed. On the fateful day of retribution, Vincent was arranging the spoils of his latest temporal heist when he heard the familiar hum of his time machine powering up. He knew this was the day his past self would arrive to initiate the cycle, and he was prepared to finally confront the man he once was. His past self stepped out of the machine, greed in his eyes. Vincent greeted him with a knowing smile, offering him a seat at the table laden with ill-gotten riches. The younger Vincent, still unaccustomed to the surreal encounter, hesitated before sitting down. Vincent recounted the years of theft and deception, the twisted cycle of greed that had consumed him. He implored his past self to abandon the path he had chosen, to find a different way to use the time machine. But as he spoke, his past self began to laugh, a sinister glint in his eyes. "You think I don't know what you're trying to do?" the younger Vincent sneered. "You're just trying to secure a better future for yourself at my expense." As the two Vincents argued, the present Vincent noticed that the room seemed to darken, and the shadows cast by the dimming lights began to shift unnaturally. The air grew cold, and an oppressive dread settled over him. He realized that the years of stealing from his future self had created a rift in the fabric of time, and now that rift had manifested as a malevolent force, seeking to reclaim what had been taken. The shadows surged forward, engulfing the younger Vincent, who screamed in terror as the darkness pulled him into its inky depths. The present Vincent, desperate to save himself and his past self from this temporal nightmare, lunged for the time machine, setting it to a point in time before he had ever conceived the twisted scheme. As the time machine activated, the shadows released their grip on the younger Vincent, who was flung back into his own time. The present Vincent found himself in a new reality, one where he had never abused the power of the time machine. He had succeeded in breaking the cycle, but at a terrible cost. The rift in time, no longer bound by Vincent's manipulations, now roamed freely through the ages, consuming the lives and histories of countless innocents. And as Vincent gazed upon the world he had unwittingly unleashed, he knew that he could never escape the temporal horror he had created, the eternal specter of the Temporal Thief.